here for no apparent reason. Hello. I have no topic. Speak to me, I speak back. It's just been a long time since I've been on live, so I was just coming live for a minute. Say hello when you come in. Say hello. Hey everyone. I have no topic or anything. I just came live. Y'all know how I used to do this if y'all were around back in the day. You speak to me, I speak back. We'll bring up any topic you bring up. I'll be willing to talk about it. As long as it ain't too far left. Hello. Say hello. Speak when you come in. I was just kind of, hi. I know I'm going to mess up this. You know, Slay? I don't mess up this. Hi, Jenna. Hello. I was just bored sitting around here. Didn't have much to do. I am in the USA. Thank you. So I can't really see a picture, but my hair was locked for 8.5 years. So I detangled them recently, so I'm learning how to do my own hair. Hello, Jante. I think that's Jant. Ooh, I thought I saw Jante, but there's a J in there. I'll butcher that name. Hello. Yeah, I was just sitting around here bored. So I was like, I have not gone live in forever. So let me go live. Usually when I come live, I don't have any sort of topic. If y'all bring something up, we'll talk about it. I am good and tired. I am trying to muster my energy up to go to the gym because ever since I've straightened my hair and curled it, I've been lazy this week with working out. So I need to get to the gym. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Isabella. Hey, ma'am, you need to drink coffee because your eyes look like sea and I don't know how to swim. Oh my God, thank you. So I'm trying to get some energy up to go to the gym. So I decided to come live. And I actually wanted to see like who would join my live. Like I'm kind of in the reactionary, Atlanta Street, whatever, interview sector. So I was trying to see if like who would come on my live. But usually I just have people who sit around doing much of nothing. I guess they just end up on my page. So I end up speaking about anything. Am I comfortable in these clothes? Okay, so I'll tell you why I have these clothes on. I made a video. You should see my video about my clothes. All right, so you know, as I've had this for years, and as I've aged, I dress more mature now. But I have 2 walk-in closets full of clothes, and this was like my stretch piece era when my clothes were like, you know, you get your cheap little stretch piece, little $15, $20, whatever. So this is from that. So what I decided is I'm gonna go through my closet, and when I'm working from home, I'm gonna put on an outfit, and then I'm gonna donate it. So that's what I'm doing. So after today, I'm donating this. But am I comfortable? Yes. It's a little thottish. But I'm very comfortable in my outfit. Yes, I am. But it's getting donated. So if y'all see someone who might be, underprivileged, maybe they'll be walking down the street with this soon. To be quite honest. Because I always donate my clothes. So if you're in the Atlanta area and you see somebody maybe underprivileged walking down the street with this, trying to make a coin, it's from the Rox Box Live collection of thought clothes. And thank you. Yes, so I have a lot like when I started taking my health serious and making sure my stomach flat, whatever. I have a lot of clothes that's just thottish. I mean, leaving very little to the imagination, and so I dress a little more classy now. Am I balding? No, I'm not balding. No, I have a large forehead, thanks to my grandmother's side. No, I'm not balding. You see my roots coming in. No, I just have a large forehead. Good afternoon, Justin. Oh, you from the reactionary sector. I didn't expect to see anyone really from the reaction. Do I have a boyfriend? Oh my God, you're definitely new to my channel. I have a lot of boyfriends. No. I have no boyfriends. I have no situationships. Am I from Africa? No, I'm not from Africa. I have no situationships. No, nothing right now. I done cleared all that out. No. No. The last time I was in an actual relationship was last December. I ended it. You get some of everybody on your vertical life. Yes, I'm only, okay, so when I started my channel, it was for a story time channel. But I have the type of stories that people usually tell me I need Tyler Perry type stories. And I didn't really want to tell my stories because you wouldn't really believe this. I told a few, but I didn't want to tell my stories because I wasn't getting a lot of views because I was new to YouTube. So I was just why am I wasting these good stories? I need to get my viewership up first. But I saw Marcus from Lamb Street Interviews, he did something and I felt strongly about it. So I decided to make a video about it. And then all of a sudden I got a lot of views and I kind of felt I was kind of, in a way, pushed towards that to make videos. But I really don't talk about him much unless something really bothers me because I don't really want to be part of that sector in a sense. But I talk about stuff when it bothers me. I really do want to be more so story time, but I want to get my viewers up before I tell my stories. Don't ever come to India. I've heard that. So I used to go live a lot and I would get any and everybody and we'll just talk about any topic. They'll bring it up and I'll talk about it. India is not on one of my bucket lists of places that I just want to see. Just don't. Oh, are you controlling? You're showing your ways. It's dangerous, but you're controlling me already. Trust me, I understand, but you'll always find something that bothers you over there. Oh my God, yes. Yes. But I think after a while, how often do I really want to talk about someone who's how often do I want to talk about feisty? How often do I want to talk about those young adults? Okay, if I told you stories about me when I was in my early 20s, I would have went viral because the only thing is, like I said, with feisty, whoever knows feisty in the sector, she goes out holing and strolling and whatever. I used what I got to get what I want and got married. So it's just difference, okay? It was all about survival. She just goes from hoe hopping, and I just got with a man who had ambition. No, I've never been to India. Okay, I think you're probably trying to be nasty, Mr. Curiosity. Am I divorced? I am divorced. Yes, I am divorced. I've been divorced many years now. Thank you, Joshua. I plan on it. I'm kind of tired. So that's one bad thing about having this hair because you want to keep it up and you don't want to constantly add heat. So when I was locked, I was constantly in the gym, and I was like constantly on my protein and eating healthy. So my sleep was great. And this week, since I've like not been doing that, I think I went to the gym like maybe twice. I've have had the worst sleep, and so now I'm going to the gym this afternoon. The one married, you must be blind. I guess so. I must be blind. Whatever. He might be. Or maybe I was the blind one. Oh well. I got married in my early 20s, and we were. Why you gonna say he must be blind, and then you wanna ask me my height? I'm a tall woman. I'm a tall woman with long legs. That's your answer. What's your height? You're not gonna be rude and turn around and ask me another question. I'm a tall woman. I was confused by your video for Feisty yesterday. She's still protecting the predator and not worrying about her kids. Why were you encouraging? Why am I encouraging? Okay, that's why let me get back to that. So, of course, she's not doing everything that is 100% right. But I still feel like I don't want to get on here every day and just constantly point out what someone is doing wrong. I mean, because if this was YouTube is kind of like real world. If this was real world, if you had somebody in your life that was constantly pointing out what you're doing wrong, you would not want them around you. You would think they're toxic and that they don't love you or don't care about you. So I was just being encouraging as a female and pointing out some of the few things that she was doing right. And a lot of times when you get that positive encouragement, they tend to, move towards doing more things that's positive. So more so coming at her, kind of like, well, hell, you do that with kids, but you also do it with your man too, just positive encouragement. So as for protecting, I have not seen anything recent, maybe today. I don't feel like she was necessarily protecting. I was feeling like she was not trying to, let's not talk about that. Let's focus on me. Boy, asking all them damn questions. When I first came on here, before I even got into the whole street sector, you would be surprised what they asked. And what happened is I started off on TikTok and I was telling stories there. And then it became it became a very nasty situation. They were just always saying the nastiest things and wanted me to do this and that, whatever. And so at nighttime, I would change it up and then we'll have adult conversation. That's what I would do. But I was just they became so demanding and asking for this, and it will be in my inbox and stuff. I was like, this is not even the type of energy I want to have. And even if that was the case, it's cash at me. If you want to ask me something, cash at me. So I left TikTok and I was like, okay, let me come to YouTube and let me do my story times. And then YouTube is not as bad as TikTok. Jason, how about you, man? Would you prefer physically fight a man or run away? They love our sisters. Yes. Oh, but all men, so all races will come on here and just ask. Hello, Sonia. We'll ask anything. Yeah, so I hope that answered your question, lovely. I just don't want to keep just saying what she's doing negative. And as for her children, I'm looking at it as a situation in which she really doesn't have much control over that. Yes, she can go out and get a job, but she can go out and get a job, probably get off of this sector, whatever. But would she still necessarily have that access? She probably, I don't know. Does she even have custody of her kids? I don't even know that situation. What's your deal? What's your Cash App? I got a few questions. I will give you my Cash App now. $ ROXIRED. Okay. Can you stand up? Can you Cash App me? Am I a lesbian? Absolutely not. I'm not a lesbian. I am not a lesbian at all. I am so far on the spectrum away from being. Okay, let me tell y'all this. So this is how it started. Somebody would ask me a question like this, and it reminds me of a story. All right, so I dated maybe about 5 to 7 years ago. I dated a guy who was well off in Atlanta. He lived in a skyrise and everything. Tech guy, had his own little tech app and small business, very well off. So He was just like, Rox, you know, I really like you, and I feel like you'll make wife, like, you'll like be perfect like wife material. I was like, uh-huh, uh-huh. He was like, and I am willing to raise your child as my own, and I'll send him off to college and pay for everything, what have you. I was like, uh-huh. So I'm waiting for it. I'm like, mm-hmm. However, what you need to do, he said, you got to be willing to have threesomes every now and then. I was like, huh? I was like, now you know I'm not a lesbian, right? No, I'm not. I'm not eating no cat. I said, you're not gonna force me to eat no cat to try to take care of my child. So, um, he gets mad. Are you in Atlanta? Yes, I'm in Atlanta. Tried to encourage her at a point or another. I hate to say it. I don't think she's a lost cause. Hey, Lisa. All right, so he gets mad because I would not agree to this arrangement of becoming hear him out. I did try to hear him out. So he gets mad that I did not agree to become a lesbian. So first I went to my father and I told my daddy, I was like, Daddy, this man said X, Y, and Z. And my daddy was like, you need to go back to him and tell him to kiss your motherfucking ass. And then don't ever speak to him again. So I went back to him and I said, my daddy told me to tell you to kiss my motherfucking ass, okay? Because my father was like, no man who care about you is going to give you that, give you those stipulations. That's not a man who care about you. And then I was like, I said, sir, I was like, this is Atlanta. Do you not know how many lesbians is in Atlanta? Like, you don't need me. There is a lot of women with children that would be willing to take this on and have no problem eating, but I'm not eating no punani, okay? So let me tell y'all what he did. So I stopped talking to him. And then, like I said, he gets mad. He starts sending me articles about stepdaughters who put charges on their stepfathers. Like, he started sending me articles like that. And I was just like, he pissed me off. Like, ooh, he pissed me. Oh. So that was the first strike. And I should have just, I have worked, in the last couple of years, I have been like seriously working on, I knew I had some toxicity in me, and sometimes toxicity can be fun, and I know I attract some toxic men, but in the last couple of years, I was just like, we're not doing that no more, okay? We are too big of a girl now. Single has been my best life. I said, half the sectors in Atlanta, me too. I was like, we are too big of a women now to be constantly dealing with toxic men. So I left him alone. And then I may have a story mixed up. I went to a party one night of one of his friends, but I was there for a long time and he was not there, okay? So I didn't think he was coming in. I really wasn't worried about him, but I was having a good time and I was actually helping DJ. So I had to go to, like, I saw him, like, he comes in, like, first of all, it was like a party with like a couple men and like a lot of Atlanta and a lot of women. So a few hours go by and then all of a sudden, like, all the men or something, they just come rush in and I'm just like, oh my God, okay, now it's a party. And he is like right there in the center. He brought all the men. It seems he was right there in the center. I was like, oh my God, here he goes. So now I gotta really like start talking to men. So I'm paying him no mind. And I see him talking to women and he's staring at me and stuff. And I'm like, we don't see him. We don't see him at all. So now I get to the point I gotta go to the restroom. And he decides he's gonna position himself right beside the restroom. So I walk towards the restroom. Next thing, he grabs my arm and rushes me into the restroom. And decided he wanted to eat something in the restroom. So that's how we started back talking. Girl, I was with my ex for 50 years and haven't been single for 4. I absolutely love it here and realized dating pool has sewage in it. Oh, yeah. Dating pool has a lot in it. So we got back together because he decided he wanted to, whatever, eat my stuff at the party. So then he came on, he was doing well, like courting me and everything, and just like I was just living my life like usual, whatever. And then he started slacking off. So I decided I was gonna back off, whatever. But when he came back, he was just like, why you ain't been reaching out to me, whatever. I was like, you remember how you told me in order for you to marry me and stuff, I need to eat pussy, right? He was like, I never said that. Where is this coming from? He was like, well, I told you that some men, in order to take care of someone else's child, may want to do this, but I never said this. I was like, Really? You never said it? But what ended up happening, okay, so he did something else and it pissed me off. I forgot. And I cussed, no. Oh, so now once he backed off, Ross was being freaky in the bathroom. Yes, I did. That's exactly what happened. He pulled me into the restroom. He pulled me in there. Let's blame it on the music and the alcohol. But he did something. He said something. He pissed me off because I think maybe because he just wasn't being consistent. And so I stopped talking to him for months, and I had no plans after. I was like, we done went back and forth. I had no plans of ever talking to this man again. So all of a sudden on my Instagram, I see this woman keep looking like we're not even friends. She keeps popping up on all my stories. It's like immediately as I post this, months later. This had to be like 4 or 5 months later. As soon as I post this, she's popping up looking at all my stories. And it didn't cross my mind. I'm just like, I just looked at her little picture. I didn't even go to her page. And I was like, okay, she looks like she might be an influencer. She looks familiar. So she just keeps popping up. And then she did this for a couple of weeks. And then finally I was like, let me go to her page. I was like, who is this woman? So I finally went to her page. And in her stories, I'm seeing him and her on boat trips, like several boat trips. And she was just like how she enjoyed the year. She can't wait to see what is going to occur. And then she also had a picture of, she has 2 sons, and she had a picture of him at the birthday party. He was standing behind her son at the birthday party. Now, I haven't talked to this man in 4 years. I mean, not 4 years, 4 months. But obviously, they've been doing the boat trips, whatever, throughout the year. So I contacted him again. It was like she intentionally wanted me to see that because he's never posted her on his page, and she had nothing of him posted on her page. And I think she kind of just wanted me to see this. And so I was just like, oh, no, that's not exactly what happened. So what happened is that like 2 weeks from me constantly see her popping up, I went into her inbox. I was like, hey, do I know you or something? I see that you watch all my stories. I just figured maybe you were an influencer. She was just like, I see, my name for him is Tech. She was like, I see you and me got a mutual friend, Tech. And even my dumb ass, because I'm not thinking about him 4 months, I was just like, oh, me and Tech have quite a few friends in common. And it still didn't click then that, because I'm not thinking about the band 4 months later. It still didn't click. So then I think like the next day or something, I finally went to her page and I was like, check your bitches. I don't be snooping and looking through. I was like, how does she even know about me? It's 4 months later. I'm not talking to you. How does she know about me? He probably had her e-cat. So I told him, I was like, you need to check your bitch. I was like, I'm not going on no other woman's page looking for you or anything, whatever. I was like, but how 4 months later, and she on my page, how does this woman know about me? Because literally, it was like 4 months since I last spoke to him, and she's on my page every day, as soon as I post something. Because he talks about you. That is crazy. You got a woman that you taking on boat trips and stuff. And so with him and me, he would take me to nice places. He would take me to nice restaurants and stuff. And I was just like, and he would vacation. Of course, I didn't necessarily think he was going by himself. And then I cussed him out and I said something. I was like, you need to go talk to the bitch you taking on boat trips and shit, okay? Because I know you ain't going to put me second best to no woman. And all I get is nice meals and going around, locally. And he was just like, Rox, because of your ego, why you ain't going on the boat trips. I was like, what you talking about? He was like, well, she willing to, he probably lying. He's like, well, she willing to pay her part. I said, well, you damn well know I'm not paying to go on no damn boat trip, no man. I was like, if I'm going on a trip with some man, he's paying. Especially if he's not if we're not in a relationship and we taking care of each other and we just dating, yeah, you're going to pay for me to go somewhere. I'm not doing that. And I was like, okay. That is crazy. Hey, welcome back. That is crazy. You know what? I do know men talk a lot. But to be like 4 months later, talking about me, I was like, obviously you like her more. She the one on the boat trips. Yeah, she had 2 kids. I got 1. She had 2. He has one, but you know, so this is a crazy thing. So with me, how can I put this? So I can't say I was okay. I can't say I really was okay. So I was raised by serial entrepreneurs, but their money necessarily wasn't my money. I'll put it like that. So I was raised by get your own type of situation. All right. I had to figure. I've been figuring out since I was 16. Serial entrepreneurs. My parents probably made more money than probably any of the parents coming up, but I did not look like it. It was really like get your own type of situation. So but I lived like high school, lived in a huge house, all that. My parents had businesses, still have business, have had several business, all that. So to me, money was never like, I never glorified it because money took my parents away from me as a child, like them constantly working and what have you. So in a way, it kind of pissed me off in a sense. However, you know how they say like women who are raised by absent fathers kind of attract men who are absent? I was raised by serial entrepreneurs. I attract men who make money easily. I've never been with like a brokey, okay? And it's not like I don't go after men. This is what comes to me. I attract my parents a lot, okay? It's so crazy because even emotionally unavailable because my parents always work. Like especially my mother, she has a lot of male energy. Like it's like two alphas coming together in a sense. And so I that's what I attract, like emotionally unavailable men with money. Okay, so it's never a big thing. And you know this whole thing about like the 666, they want a man who's 6 foot, what makes 6 figures, and the 6 inch, you know, whatever. I always attract that. So to me, it's not something I go looking for because it's just always been there. I think when someone who necessarily hasn't had it, that's what they seek. And a lot of times I think when you're seeking something, you're energetically kind of like pushing it away. So a lot of times men approach me and they feel that because they have all the 666s, they're a prize. For me, I don't view it like that because I'll date short men. I've dated shorter men. It doesn't bother me. Like your height is to me is not like a prize. I easily attract men with money. And a 6, most of the people I've been with at least have that. I mean, so they always come at like a price. Oh, because you got one child. Like you got some people who like, oh, you got one kid, so your value goes down. You got kids, whatever, what have you. There are men who will who will accept you and your one kid, and they got money and they got all the 666s. I just don't have that mindset. I don't have that. What is the word I would call it? Limiting mindset. Sarah playing mind games. He may have told her my ex Rox was eating catwalk. Can't you do it? She started looking like, yes, if pretty girl did it. Oh, absolutely. So the thing is because like the external outside of me, a lot of them have that mindset. They think when they are introduced to me that I have that limited mindset, so I'm going to put them on a pedestal and I'm not going to put them on a pedestal, so they feel some type of way. It's like, I make all this money. You're supposed to want to do this for me. No, I don't want to do this for you because if it's not you, someone else will do it. It's not so much the kids you have 3 or 4 baby daddies. The hell no. You know what? I know some women with 3 or 4 baby daddies in. And I know most men are not going to accept that, but crazy enough, these women are married. And then maybe, I don't know if it's other places. I mean, I lived in other states, but when I was in those other states, I was in relationships. I don't know about the whole dating scene. But Atlanta, I think it's a lot of what I've experienced is horrible a lot of times when it comes to dating. Sounds like a demon man out there. Yeah, it does sound like demon. The 666. Yeah, so they think you're supposed to put them on a pedestal, and men get mad when you don't put them on a pedestal. They get mad as hell. So when I went out on a date with one guy before, and like I asked him like his passions and just having general conversation. He kept telling me about his money. Like, you'd be so surprised how men would tell you about their money. Like, you would think that's something like they might want to keep private, but they lead with that a lot of times. And he kept telling me about his money, and I'm getting like annoyed. Mind you, I've already told you guys I came up in a family where making money was put first before like the kids. Like, it was about. Now, on the bright side, my parents have property all over the United States. So, I mean, it'll be in the will, but it ain't gonna really be for me by the time that's worth anything. It'll be for my child, but yeah. So a lot of times I'm just like, I don't want to hear about your work. To be honest, I don't want to hear about your work. I'm traumatized. I mean, me leaving money and they don't understand that we don't care a lot. And they get mad. And so I was telling this man, I was just like, I asked him, the one who was constantly telling me about his money. I was like, is there anything that you do or have like for others that you don't benefit from? What have you? And he could name anything. And so he told me later on, he was like, we're not compatible. He was like, you care too much about social issues. And for me, I'm more so like a hustler. I'm thinking about the next move or whatever. I was like, well, you don't know what I do, you know, as a career or where my mindset is about, you know, making money. I just don't necessarily care to talk about it. I mean, I will talk about it. I'll say, oh, I do X, Y, and Z, what have you. But I don't want to have a long conversation about work. Your money's not my money, and unless you're putting in my account saved, the only way I really care about that, like I guess if it depends on like if your career was something that goes against like my morals, like if you was like an escort or something, then it would like bother me. But other than that, it's like, they actually hate when we're educated and make decent money on our own. They don't feel needed. Well, okay, so I've experienced the whole point. I've experienced a man like feeling like he's not needed. I'm just like, you're not needed. I own a home. I'm a single woman who owns a home. Negro. And I did not buy like a newly made. My house been around for some years. You're needed. Get a hammer, a nail, do something. Oh, you're needed. But can you handle what I need? I went on a date with. I've been on many dates. Okay, so I went on a date with this one financial. He was like a financial broker guy, and it was just like. And this is funny because this was the only like coffee date. I don't even drink coffee, so people ask me on coffee dates, so I'm like, no. This is like, no, okay. I offered to go on a coffee date, but I was like, no, I don't do coffee. I was like, well, we can do a smoothie, whatever, and let's do it during lunch. I was like, this will be quick. So we went to a smoothie place, and now this is just to talk towards Lovely what you just said. So we're talking, and this was a few years ago. And we're just asking what each other wants and whatever. And he was like, do you want more kids? I'm like, I'm not against it. If a man doesn't have anything, and he's a good man, I'll be willing, whatever. And I was like, how about you? He was like, well, I think he told me he wants at least 2, 3. I was like, okay, 2, I'm fine. 3 is pushing it, okay? And he was just like, but I expect my woman to be a hustler just like myself. I was like, you want a quick way to turn me off. He's heading down this road. I was like, what you mean you want your woman to be a hustler like yourself? Well, that's a turn off to me. He was like, well, he came from a 2-parent household. His mom and his daddy worked, but his mama had 2 jobs. She was a nurse during the day and a nurse at night, and they raised 3 sons, and she never had a problem with it. I was like, you sure your mother never had a problem with that, working 2 jobs? You know, it's difficult being a nurse. I was like, she never had a problem with that. I was like, you don't know how your mama was feeling when she was in her room. You don't. I'm pretty sure she probably cried sometimes. You know, raising 2 sons. Oh, so what he told me. He was like, well, for my wife, and I'll tell you no lie. He said, for my wife had to have my 3 kids, and as soon as she drops them, she'll get a couple weeks off, but she gotta get right back to work. I said, what? He's like, yeah, she don't need to have much time off because she got to hustle just as hard as me. I was like, oh, hell, Bishop. I was like, oh, hell no, you got the wrong one, sir. Absolutely not. That is a quick. The man who told me he wanted me to be bisexual had a better chance than this one. I am not lying. I was like, what? She got to work 3 jobs and get right back to work. I said, if both your parents were working and your mother had 2 jobs, I said, who was raising y'all? He was like, with a TV. I said, you don't see no issue with that, sir? He was like, no, I don't see no issue with that. And this man was a financial broker, drove a very nice car, everything. Hello. I said, absolutely not. I said, that was the first time on the date I said, you know what? We are not compatible. That was the first time. It's like, I know you said you dated a tech guy. I just recently realized I'm attracted to mechanics and farmers and stuff like that. Don't judge me, y'all. No, what I am attracted to. Oh, you can give me a handyman? Oh, I was just praying to the Lord the other night. I was just like, he ain't necessarily got to be a handyman, but can he know how to do handy stuff? I really don't want a man who got to go into other people's homes and have to fix some stuff, because I never dealt with a man like who cheated me while doing that, but I've dealt with like men who was in tech, who had like side jobs and they would go to people's homes and did that. But I don't want my man going to nobody's homes. Jesus was a carpenter. We like a girl. And I told you I'm a homeowner. I definitely want me a handyman. And it's so bad. Like, okay, so right now, being a single woman, I depend on my brother-in-law. When my father was younger, I depend on him quite a bit back in the day. Now my father's more so like, come pick me up, daddy. Or if I got to go to the hospital, my dad would be the first one there. So I've been depending on my brother-in-law. And I needed my son's TV hung. I called my ex for that. And so I depend on one of my exes sometimes to, no lie, to put stuff together in my house. And people like always assume I'm having sex. I was like, I have not had sex with that man over 8 years. I mean, even all my exes, I ain't had sex with them in years. But they still will help me out. Yeah, so that was the first time on a date I told him on the date. I said, we are not compatible. And it's so crazy that person still follows all my social media. I'm like, move on. Thank you, Joshua. Yeah, so I've had crazy dating experiences, but that man was better off having me bisexual. I worked for a carpet cleaning company, and baby, the way the techs would ask me to wait because they were freaking the customers. Exactly, is a mess. Exactly. That's why I don't want to be dating nobody now. Hopefully. Okay, so y'all know how they say when, you get your energy right and you do all the internal working, like you tend to attract better. Now, I don't necessarily completely agree with that, but I've said I'm going to try to do that. I've only been in my last couple of years of working without dealing with my toxic energy. Okay, because I got some toxic ways too. So I've been trying to do that. So the men I've gotten, and mind you, I've told you, all the men I've had have been like financially well off. I have like, you would think that because they put so much into their career that maybe other things would be more aligned. No, they be some of the worst emotionally ones. They are as emotionally immature. So I told y'all who I shared my story with. I dated a very young guy about 2 months ago. We ended our dating, and he was very much younger than me. And this 26 years old was more mature than these 40 years olds and late 30 years olds I be out here dating. I was just like, too bad we were just in different places in life. Okay, what would drive me crazy mentally, I'm in a better place now. So the 26 years old, he was better off emotionally. So I was like, maybe I'm getting better with who I'm dating since I'm not being in my toxic energy, okay? Maybe. Okay, so I will tell y'all, so with the tech guy, I told y'all, I'm not about to eat no pussy to get married. But what I did do with him, I did go to the swingers club with him. Now there's a rule, you're not touching me. So we went to the swingers place. And the thing is, I am a thespian. I'll put on a show, but we're not swapping. We're not doing all that. We're not swapping, but I'll put on a show for you, for the other people. I like to be watched. Rox was in the box. So I did that for him, but I didn't mind because I like to entertain. Trapeze. So I did that. And he was like, because I'll do, well, back then I wasn't doing no story times, but he's a professional. He's like, don't tell nobody about this. I was like, first of all, I'm not going to really be telling nobody really about this in my personal, well, I might, whatever, some people know, whatever. But you want to keep it so quiet, but yet you want to try to make me be out there eating some cat. But, okay, you quiet, you closeted freak. So I'll do that to be watched. I think everybody got their kinks, but shit. Thank you, District of Columbia. Yeah, but no. So there's just certain things I'm just not willing to do. So, but yeah, I'm single. I am single. That's my dating life. Oh. So what else, y'all? What else is going on? Oh, I know I gotta get to the gym. I'm not ready. I'm too tired. Too tired. Oh, back to, this reminded me of when you was talking about, you worked at a carpet cleaning company. Okay, so, last year my house was flooded out. And it's crazy because I've only had, was it last year? I think so. End of last year. It was either last year or the year before. I forgot, y'all. My house was flooded out. And it's crazy because I spoke to a spiritual guide person and she told me that a flood was coming. And she told me like several months that my house would be flooded out. And I was just like, how is that even possible? So I put it in the back of my mind. I didn't think about it no more. And then when it happened several months later, I was just like, oh my God, this lady did tell me about this. So my house was flooded out. So I had to go stay at a, I think it was last year. I had to go stay at it's like a extended stay. If we say at extended stay, like Marriott extended stay, whatever, me and my son. And during this time, I was broke up from my long-term boyfriend. I think it was last year or the year before. Okay, so I was broke up from my long-term boyfriend, and I just got so tired of dealing with his BS, whatever. I was just like, God, you got to send me good afternoon. So I was going through my little, like, down and out emotional phase. You know, for me, when I feel like down and out and all, whatever, I go into my own little bubble, like. And so I'm at this hotel and I'm like, oh God, you know, gotta send me somebody better today, because I'm really done with him. Okay, I'm done for real this time, Lord. And I was just like, how's somebody gonna send me something? So how God is gonna really send me somebody when I'm up in this dang hotel and I'm not going out because I'm kind of emotional? But God, please send me somebody. So I'm working from the hotel one day, and I ended up knocking over a order on my laptop. So I had put a little service order in, and they sent a tech person to the hotel to fix my laptop. So I go down to let the person up, go to the front desk to let the person up, and I turned the corner and I was like, damn, like, oh boy, it was fine. I was like, God, is this you, God? Did you hear? You know how it's funny to me because good afternoon, you know, it's funny to me. You know how they say like your man is never gonna come to your door. So I was just like, dang, God, you work fast. I was like, usually you don't work this fast. Like, what is going on? So I was like, is this you, God? So he came upstairs and he fixed my laptop and everything. We just talking like it wasn't even supposed to take that long. He was there for hours, and it was just like a wonderful conversation. So we talked for a few months, but he was like, he wasn't applying enough pressure after a while for me, so I left that situation. I was like, that wasn't God. And then what happened, y'all? Guess what happened? I went back to my ex. It was in fact not God. It was in fact not God. Exactly. Because it looks good. It wasn't necessarily good. Okay, it was the beginning. No, it was not last year my house got flooded. It was what's this, 26, 25, 24, the end of 24, because me and him, we spent Valentine's Day together. And so I was just like, oh, this ain't it. So my dumb ass went back to my boyfriend. And then finally, now I'm officially done with his ass. No more going back. Yeah, but that man, oh, he looks. No. This is you, guy. I was like, God, you don't work this fast. This is really quick. And I just thought it was a funny story. Cause talking about like people come to your house to fix. I mean, you know, we wanted handymen and men going to jobs. I don't want no man who got to go to some woman's house to do and fix nothing, okay? Because women find that stuff, you know, attractive. And that's why a lot of men who are in relationships, they learn how to do stuff because they don't want men coming out to their house. And because they wouldn't be sitting back, you know, lusting over them. Can I offer you a bottle of water or something? Some lemonade? Like, that stuff is attractive watching a man do some work. I learned that about women. That's why I don't trust these women. Shoot. It's so easy to get. My ex-husband used to say that, what did he used to say? I forgot. It was some comment he used to have, like, women are something like cheaper than salt or something. Come on. It's about how easy it is to get women. It's, like, ridiculous. Like, you ain't got to do nothing. Oh, yeah, me too. I'm a damsel in distress. Oh, help me, sir. Oh, I just can't get this. Like, even like, although I'm a tall woman, if something's hot, like, oh, please get it for me. And then, oh, you're so amazing. You're so wonderful. Oh, I couldn't have done this without you. All that. I don't know why we got to stroke your egos like that. Oh my God, it's almost not 3 yet. I think I'm going to go to the gym at 3. Women love men who can work with their hands. I be so clumsy when the maintenance man comes to fix stuff. It's so embarrassing. He's not even attractive. Oh, that is true. You know, I've seen that because I have had maintenance men come to my house and they're not attractive, but there's just something about men working with their hands that women just find attractive. Like, you want to get a woman, be a handyman. Calluses on their hands. We'll find a good person if everything wasn't based on looks and height. I don't know if that's necessarily true because back in the day, well, first of all, I don't really care necessarily about height. But I still be finding women, even attractive women, still find it difficult to find a person. Even if you like, look, height ain't a big deal. You ain't got to be the most attractive. Give me a 6 or 7. Like, you ain't got to be the most attractive still. It's still hard. But one thing I refuse to do now, because when I was like a little younger, I would date, you know, he ain't had to be that attractive. Now it's like, God, okay, now I done been through enough. I want it all. Like, I want the looks. I think that somebody who has to deliver my package. I want the looks, everything. I tell God, I say, hold on, y'all, 1 second. I got a package at the door. Height is not true. I date all heights, and baby, my 5'8" husband loves me down. Okay, so I'm 5'9". I go in between 5. I've been told 5'9", 5'9.5". I haven't been told 5'8", but I think I'm 5'9". I stick 5'9". So the shortest I've ever dated was 5'7". And I dated 2 men 5'7", and I enjoyed them. It doesn't really necessarily bother me. The problem is that a lot of men, they have the confidence or something to approach you, and even if you're willing to go out with them, once you go out, you got to see how they are receiving the attention, because you're going to get attention. You see a taller woman, taller than her man, people look, and I find that a lot of them aren't comfortable. So that's the only reason I might stay away and won't accept it, because I'm like, look, I'm going out. And if you're going to feel uncomfortable, then I don't want to be around it. It's not an issue for me because I'm 5'2". Oh, you a little petite thing. 5'2" ain't nothing. What gets me is that women who are like 5'2", 5 foot, like anything like 5'5" and below, and they are saying, "Oh, my man gotta be 6 foot." Are yes. One sec. All right, y'all still here? I'm saying, I hear women say they want God to send them a good, but when a short guy comes along, he gets turned down. How you know God isn't sending? True. Absolutely. At this point, I don't know. I'm like, God, do you hear me? Calling me and I can lift me up. I'm good. I was say, what is this? Oh, hair rollers. Yeah, I done spent what, like between $500-$600 on hair supply stuff. Cause y'all know I just recently detangled my hair, and I made a video. If y'all was on my page and y'all watched it, okay, so I've been on YouTube and TikTok, not TikTok, YouTube and Instagram, and like because I don't really know how to take care of hair. Because when I was locked, I would get my hair once a month, retwist it, and whatever, that was it. You know, some dry shampoo and like working out, whatever. Now that I'm, hair straight, I know how to take care of hair. Before I was locked, I really didn't know how to take care of hair either. I used to just keep it like curly. And so I'm like, okay, I've been looking at all these videos on how to take care of hair. And I'm like, these people are using like 8, 10, 12 different things. And then my stylist, when I went to her, she gave me at least 6 things I needed to do for my hair. And I'm like, so after I even bought a hair dryer. The only thing I bought was a hair dryer brush. One second, y'all. I need to close my door. Oh God. Every time I sit down, my butt flops. So only thing I bought was like a hair dryer brush. I knew nothing about these things. I was like, because I'm used to like the hair dryer and you chasing it with the comb or the brush. I'm like, what? Now it comes in one. But the crazy thing is, like, all these items, when I was in college and I used to like do my own hair, all I remember was like shampoo, conditioner, leave-in conditioner, and some gel. That's all I remember. If you were Paul, you still look good. Thank you. I was like, that's all I remember. Now it's like bonding this, sulfur this, like keratin this. I know that wasn't your butt making all that. It was. It was my butt when I said that. I got a video about my video was checking in, and I said, I'm like, I'm not gonna take this out in this video. I sat down after showing my outfit, and my butt went plop. I was like, oh God, that was my butt. Oh, that was my butt. It was. I put this on. I didn't want to put no panties on. That was my butt. So I put all this stuff. This week I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get all my workouts in, and I'm work out today, probably tomorrow. As long as my hair is good by Tuesday, I'm fine. And what I put all this stuff, because I'm watching all these videos. So I put some roll-ups. What is this? Almond and avocado. avocado conditioner, almond and avocado mousse. Now I remember mousse. Okay, I remember the mousse back in the day. But now I gotta actually learn how to do my hair because, you know, once I work out, the hair is done. Honey cream, sulfate free, moisturizer retention, detangling conditioning shampoo. Almond and avocado leave-in conditioner. All this stuff. Hold on. What is this? Rosemary and summer stimulating, super moisturizing conditioner. I swear, I just knew about shampoo, conditioner, mousse, gel, leave-in conditioner. This is crazy. Man, beautiful high forehead like Nefertiti models. I used to model when I was younger. And what is this? Honey curling forming gel. I think that's what it is. So back in the day, I was just regular gel. Like y'all know the regular black gel with the black gel with the white or black top. You ladies, black women, we know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All this. And this ain't even half of what I bought. All this. If my hair ain't down my back, and some more. I knew nothing about these own Velcro type curlers. I knew nothing about this. Okay, this is something completely new to me too. If my hair is not down my back by next year, I know something. All this shit. Ego style gel, yep. That's so when I was like, you know what? I need to stay off of freaking Instagram and YouTube watching videos because that should be enough. Okay, that should be absolutely enough. Now I'm buying all this stuff and heat protectant. I don't even remember heat protectant back in the day. Like the early 2000s. There probably was. I don't even remember heat protectant. Like 5'9". I don't even remember heat protectant. Is that something new that they doing? I don't remember that. Okay, so now heat protectant. And it's gonna be funny to me because I swear, as soon as I wash my hair and do everything, put all these chemicals in it, I probably still won't be able to straighten make it look good. But how totally gorgeous, girl. We were microwaving pin curls. I know I'm new to the voodoo, and I'm gonna be using your face because I'm scared to use mine to stay still, please. Oh my God. No. Now that's a whole other saying I told you about. I am the great grandchild of one of the witch doctors, one of them well-known witch doctors. Okay, it runs through my blood. You don't want to use my face for voodoo because I will call on all my ancestors to whoop your ass. I am very much so a Christian, but there's a whole nother side to me. Are you single? I'm very single. Love your feminine vibe. You triggering my masculinity. All we had was blue magic. Yep, gel, beeswax, blow dries and flat. And that's all. That's all I know about. Yes, that is what I know about you people. Oh my God, that's all. Now he protected. And the thing is, our hair was healthy. All them French rolls and what was it? What were the waves? Those waves. Every healthy hair. Now we got all this extra shit. Okay, so this is, I'm about to donate this. I'm coming out of my stretch piece era. Okay, I'm a more mature woman. So I try to dress more mature, but I really, I have 2 full closets. I have 2 huge walk-in closets. To the point, they're packed, and I even have clothes and bags on the ground. I have to do something because it becomes to the point now I become so frustrated because I hate serious mess. And even though it's organized, it's still mess, okay? So what I tell myself is I'm gonna get dressed up every day and I'm gonna put something on and then I'm gonna donate it. So that's gonna help me. But it's a long dress. Girl, not that man said you were triggering his masculinity. I am crying. Oh my God. And that's in a bad way, huh? Well, you can be triggered in a good way? Can you be triggered because you could be around certain men that your femininity just comes out. There's been very few men, I mean, not a couple, that I felt so girly and childlike around. I completely just lose my brain. I don't want to think you take care of everything. But they were just extremely masculine. You say something, honey. Maybe he means trigger in a good way because I'm like very feminine, so he gets triggered in a good way. There was this one man I dated. You know, us as women, we always got names for men. We can nickname. So I call him real estate. So real estate, he was a real estate investor. He had a whole company and everything in Atlanta, very well off. So I probably should have known something when I went on a date with him. He told me he already had 2 marriages, whatever, that something wasn't right. And maybe also because he's a Libra. Now, I love me a Libra woman. They are some wonderful women, stylish women. I love me. But there's something about me and Libra men. I mean, you talking about love-hate relationships. Like, we attracted to each other, but we would take each other up and do there. But he was, okay, so real estate, he came in and he wooed me. We never called men their real names. I wonder if they know that. Never. And everybody got a name. Everybody got a name. And so real estate, he wooed me, had me at the right nice little fancy restaurants and all, you know, flowers and nice hotel, all that, okay? All that, whatever. And I was just, this was a few years ago, I was just, he love bombed me. I was head over heels for real estate, okay? And he was a mature man too. And usually I'm not, I mean, I've dated men, older men, but a lot of times they still kind of got that young energy vibe. But he was like a mature man. And it was all going well. I was just like, I was falling for this man to the point that I even came out of my pocket and I started planning dates after a while. I started planning dates. I was like, this man got you. And then, like, all of a sudden, something happened. I was like, why for you pushing back? And he came and told me, yeah, I don't be playing no dates like that. Y'all know the men be like, you know, we like women to come out of the pocket like, you guys to. It reminded me of another story. I'll go back. But real estate, yeah, he kind of love bombed me. And I remember one day I planned this glass blowing date. I've been here 5 seconds and can tell this lady thinks she's all that, but she really like a 5, maybe a 4, because the haircut, a little tidy. You see, this is sad, pathetic men. That you have to come to someone's page and you have to make an assumption about who a woman thinks she is. I'm a grown-ass woman. I will tell you exactly who I am. I do not need your assistance, nor do I need your presence. So you can go ahead and exit and go find someone else to want to deal with you, because obviously in your actual life, there is absolutely no one who wants to even see the sight of you. You are probably a disappointment, not only to yourself, but your mother and your father. And I doubt that you even have a wife. And even if you do, she belittles you. So be gone. Goodbye. You're not important enough for me to know exactly how to pronounce your name. All right. Can get a V-Buck gift card. Back to my story before this little itty bitty idiot that came into my thing. So, okay, so real estate. All right, so I decided I was gonna plan a date for me in real estate. And we went to, I disagree, Ty. She has a beautiful face. Her eyes are perfectly almond shaped. Thank you. Oh, so a glass blowing class. It was a date to glass blowing class, and he was so excited. The week coming up to the date, and all of a sudden he can't make it. Now I spent over $300 for this glass blowing class. Okay. And I was like, you can't make it. Now, he did cash at me the money back, but I was so disappointed. But I took my brother-in-law instead, and we had a good time nonetheless. So I was like, okay, what's going on? Now I'm really in my head because I'd have been love bombed. This man got me falling in love. And he told me my ex came back, and she told me she pregnant. I was like, what? Now, at this point, we probably 2 months in. I was like, what? How is this possible? And it wasn't that he was like talking to her. She really was like the 2 months, whatever. Like he would have took about 3 months, whatever. I get a straight bullet, ain't even done nothing. Damn, I get a yes back to real estate. So I was just like emotional, like, And it was so, I was so hurt because this man was just like perfect. And so I was just like, okay, like you wanna, he was like, I am so disappointed. He was like, I'm so like, I don't know what to think. Like he's a Libra man. He was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Even Tech was a Libra man. I don't know what to do, whatever. I was like, well, are you planning on going back to her? No. He was just like, this is so embarrassing. I was like, wow. He was like, all my kids, at this point he had 3 kids. He was like, all my kids have been from my ex-wives. You know how I'm be seen in the community by having a child out of wedlock? I was like, oh, okay. So we kind of staggered until we stopped talking. So we stopped talking, like he wasn't contacting me a lot and stuff, and I was just like, oh my god, here comes this fuckboy energy. So then he calls me up one night, like late at night. We live far away from each other. He lives like far deep into Marietta. He was like, Rox, I just really need to see you. I'm not doing well. And I'm like, boy, it is like maybe almost 12 or 1 a.m. Libra, man, that was enough for me. Oh, Libras will take you through it. I need to. Usually I let them stay, but I don't feel like dealing with them. Oh my god, I've dealt with many Libra men. I need to leave him alone. But the youngin was a Libra man too. He was pretty good. I don't know. We just attracted each other. Oh, so he calls me one night and I'm asleep, and he was just like, I need to see you. Please come to my house. I was just like, that's a long way. I'll give you gas money. Okay, I'm coming. Let me pack a bag. Real quick. So I went up and saw him, and I get there to his house, and I'm banging on his door. First, I called him to say, I'm about to get out of my car. It's late. So he could, come out and get me because it's late and going up to his house. And he didn't answer, so I go up to the door, and I'm banging on his door. And it's like, I know I banged on the door maybe a good 20 minutes. Yeah, I went, girl. And I shouldn't have went because, he wasn't, the conversations, like, I was rarely hearing from him at this time. I don't date based on the star signs, but I see that there's certain personalities that are similar among star signs. Either you're gonna sit here and listen to the story, or you can get on. So I swear I banged on the door for like 20 minutes. So then I finally decided to go look in the window. He was laid out on the in the front room on the floor with a bottle of liquor beside him. So I started banging on the window, and he finally came. We went upstairs, and that was just, it wasn't even good sex, okay? It wasn't even good. And then after that, I even heard from him less. I was like, no, you're not going to use me. Oh my God, I can't think happy for me. I was like, you are not going to use me to help you through your emotions. So we started dealing with each other. Because he was just like, he don't feel like he could be in a relationship right now. He needs to heal. Now, he never went back to the baby mama. I was like, okay, go ahead and heal. So then maybe about, let's say, 4 or 5 months, I go on his Instagram, and he's in a relationship with a whole different other woman that kind of resembled the baby mama. And I kind of, this been toxic. This was about, I told you I only been trying to be healthy the last 2 years, definitely 1 year and a half. So this is about 3-4 years. So I contact him, and I had some words. Oh, you had to go off of here, but nigga, now you up here posting some woman on your thing and whatever. And he was like, well, you're in a relationship now too. I was like, that's not the point. Had you came back, I would never ended up in no relationship. So then, in between my breaking off, you're starting to back up. No, so then we did not start it back up. So then I went back to his page, like, we still friends on, we was friends on Instagram. So then I see, the emotional posts and stuff. Libra men, they know they be all in their feelings. The emotional posts and stuff, and talking about how women, this, when you care about somebody and whatever. So I was just like, okay, oh, he must be going through it, breakup. So he reaches out to me. He done broke up with old girl. This months later. So, what's this? No, it's first time. it's maybe a year done passed or something. So he broke up with old girl. He was like, Rox, I really want to see you. Let me take you out to eat, whatever, whatever. And I should have said no because he didn't come back to me. He didn't come back to me, so I should have said no then. But I was just like, oh, okay, we can go out to eat. Whatever. So I let him take me out to eat. And he just up here just putting it on. Oh my God, he was just really laying it on, just trying to, can you woo, woo, woo? Just all that. It was heavy, okay? And I'm up here mad, but he was breaking me down. And he was like, you come see me later? I was like, no, I'm not gonna come see you later. I appreciate this meal. I'm going home. So there he go, and he texts me later. And I'm like, okay, let me pack a bag. And then I maybe heard from him the next day and didn't hear from him for a long time. Okay, I was just like, dummy girl, why you let this man get you? You know he was pouring it on. Damn, I was like, you know he was pouring it on. So now I'm mad. So then he gets back with old girl. And now he really kept, like, I forgot how long it was between the next time he contacted me. And mind you, I broke up. So and the fun thing, it was like, this is how the devil works. It was literally in between times that me and my boyfriend was broke up that he was finally breaking up with his girl. So then he reached back out to me and he was just like, did he want to see me? He reached back out to me. He tried to see me and I was just like, what did he say? What did he say? Oh, before we called it quits that time, he was just like, Rox, you are a wonderful woman. Any man, I did not know he was going back to his girlfriend. He was like, any man will want to be with you. He was like, I should want to be with you. But I don't know why I just like toxic women. He was just like, there's something, I got to figure it out. He was just like, I should really want to be with you. Like, but I just like toxicity. This is what he tells me. I was like, boy, you need to go get some therapy. He was like, I just recently got in therapy and we're working this out. So I didn't know he was going back to the girl at the time. But he went to go get some therapy and ended up back with the toxic girl. And it was so crazy. What was it? So the time that I went to his house and he was drunk, the second time I went to his house when he called me up and he was drunk and they just broke up, she moved out of his house and his house smelled like dog shit. Like, he has a huge house. It smells straight like dog shit. I was like, you don't even do pets. He was like, yeah, but she moved in her like 4 dogs and they just shitted up the house. That's why I know if a man wants you, he will deal with any of your shit, okay? These men just be talking because they have lips. I don't listen to a word. If a man wants you, he will deal with your 5 kids. He will deal with your dog shit. He'll deal with your debt, your scars, your cellulite. If he wants you, they don't give a damn, okay? They will put up with your shit. That man house smell like dog shit. Okay. So he gave me that speech about how any man should want me and he should want me, but he just love toxic bitches, okay? And so he, can you say, we love you, Tika, for edit? So can you say, we love you, Tika? Okay, we love you, Tika. So he calls me up again. And now he finally broke up with the girl. He was just like, Rox, I'm better now, and I just really want to see you. It's so funny because I told you he was a real estate investor. Literally down the street, he bought a house down the street from my house. And he is nowhere near me, whatever, even though his business in Atlanta, trying to like buy a house so he can work on having that house all fixed and stop by and try to see me. No, sir, we're not doing that. So he was like, Rox, I miss you and I really want to see you and I'll do right by you this time. I'll do right by you this time. I said, you know what, real estate? I said, put the money on the nightstand, basically. I said, you want to see me, you got to pay me, okay? And he was like, he was like, Rox, you ain't never been this type of woman. Because one issue he had with the ex was that she basically just wanted him really for money, whatever. He was like, you ain't never been about that. You've always been about, a man's character and their soul and da 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 da. I was like, no, put the money on the nightstand. He was like, don't even come off to me like that no more, bro. Don't even do that. He was like, I never viewed you like that. I don't ever want to view you. I was like, no, because when I give you my time freely, you take advantage of it. Now, if you want to see me, put the motherfucking money on the nightstand, nigga. I was like, cash at me. You got a cash app. He was like, how much you want? I said, give me 1,000. You want to see me give me 1,000? He was like, I just can't believe this, whatever, whatever. And so, of course, he did not send me my $1,000. He sent me money before, but once I did that, he did not send me my $1,000. They wonder how women get this. Exactly. I was like, no, you're not gonna see me. And so he tried again. He wanted me to pull up down the street to the house to see him. I was like, no, it's not happening. And he kept calling me on and off, and I cussed his house. I have a phone in here, old phone, because you know how you do like text messages. I cussed his ass out so bad, and I say that shit. I mean, I just constantly kept cussing. He just kept coming back. So finally, I'm so surprised. Now he finally just gave it up, and I've not heard from him in over, I think maybe it's been over a year. I've not heard from real estate in over a year. And I cussed him out several times. I've not heard from him. So finally moved on. But so what I did in my moving from toxicity to being a better woman, I cut off everybody. Because sometimes I would even keep, not my friends I say like came and like my exes who came and like fixed stuff, whatever, not them, because we don't cross those lines. It's like after that relationship, we never had sex again, whatever. And that's been like 9 years with one who put my son's thing up. But some of my other ones, like I would just constantly like rotate them. Like I'm not dealing with you, okay, and I'm dealing with you again. And my therapist was like, you may not know it, but you have commitment issues. Like, you keep rotating these people because you got commitment issues. So I wanted to really work on that. So I had to let go of everybody. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to be by myself for a minute. And I'm going to, be a better woman. And maybe I will attract different. So I let go of everybody from my past. So now I don't even have a roster. Okay? I don't have no one right now. Exactly, but they wonder how we get like that because you actually care about somebody and you treat them right and you're not about their money. Like this man was a fucking millionaire, and I wasn't even like that about his money. Like anything and everything that he did for me, he did for on his own. I didn't ask, and it was never about his money. But then he go and be with a woman who all she was a pretty woman, was his money. But at least he was honest, because a lot of sometimes. Relationships come to an end and you never know why, like, or they may ghost you. I only found out about ghosting like 4 years ago. I didn't even know that was a thing. I had somebody ghost me for the first time and I'm all on the phone with my girls and I'm like, I think we call him Africa, I think. No, I forgot what we called him. I think we call him program manager or something like that. And I'm on the phone with my girls, oh my God, like, this was going wonderful. And all of a sudden, like, I don't hear from them. They was like, girl, you done being ghosted. Ghosted? What's ghosted? I've never been ghosted. Like, so they, about 4 years ago, I had to be taught what ghosted was. And then it was so crazy because I was just, like, distraught. Like, how was somebody ghost? Like, how do you do that? Because me, I've just always been like, I'm no longer interested. And so I ended up that's how I ended up talking to real estate, because this one ghosted me. And he was actually the type of man, he had no children. He was really looking for a marriage, what have you. And I kind of felt like I could have married this man because I knew I would be taken care of. He would have took care of my child. And he was a fairly decent man. But you know how it's just that one, like that real connection. It wasn't necessarily there. But if you just want to marry somebody who's like, okay, he's a decent man, that would have been that man. And I was willing to settle for that. No, keep the Africans away from me. The lies just come easily. Me having a whole family that don't give a damn. I know some situations like that. I know some Africans like that. So that would have been that situation. But that's how I ended up with real estate, because this was me going to therapy. And my, oh my God, this conversation got long. So I started going to therapy before about, a little over 2 years ago, right before I met my boyfriend. I was going to therapy, maybe 3 years ago. And so this was me getting rid of all my exes and start rotating them and doing all this, whatever. And so, because my therapist like, you are scared of commitment, so the homework was I needed to get on a dating site. And I was completely against dating sites because I done been cheated on several years prior because the man was on a dating site. So I was completely against them. She's like, I want you to get on the dating site and I want you to date quite a few people, but I don't want you to get attached. Just date, get your feet out, get your feet a little wet. And I was like, okay, like this was homework. So I get on the dating site and I was dating six men at one time. And I was dating 6. I was not doing 6, just going on dates, okay? So I was dating at 6 at a time, and actually, the African, he was actually like maybe almost the least. He wasn't ugly, but he was the least attractive out of all of them. They were all successful men, but he was like the least attractive. But his life was the most exciting. I found being single for these 4 years, the married men are always trying to talk to me. It makes me not want to deal with that. Thank God I don't. Thank God I don't. I'm not pulling that. Okay, so out of the 6, the African was like the most. His life was the most exciting. And if I'm attached to a man and he's talking about marriage and stuff, I'm like, what type of life will I have? And he was scuba diving and all type of shit. And you know, a lot of Africans, they travel a lot, okay? And so I actually got rid of, and he wanted to be exclusive and everything, so I got rid of the other 5. Although it was so funny to me because I was just like, there was no way I could get attached to any of them at all because I was talking to 6 men. In fact, to the point I couldn't even remember what I told one. Okay, it was so confusing, whatever. And then the worst part about it, because I was on a date like every night. Like even after I took my son on his activities, I was going late at night out to dates and stuff. And then my skin got so raw, taking on all this freaking makeup and stuff. And that was the worst part, the damn makeup and like being out all the time. So I got rid of all the 5 and I was like, okay, this one wants to be exclusive. He got an exciting life. And then he ghosted me. I was like, I got rid of all these men who's taking me on all these dates for your ass and I got ghosted. You know, when they tell you don't get rid of your roster until you know for sure, don't do it. Because I used to have the issue, I ain't really been dating, of men just wanting to rush me into being exclusive. And I'd be like, fine, why not? Because I'm tired of dating. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's go ahead. I'm tired of dating all these men. So, okay, we can be exclusive. And so he ghosted me. And so that's when I met. And so I went back to a therapist. And I'm just like, I'm done with dating. This is too much for me. You told me to date a lot of people. She's like, well, damn, girl, I ain't tell you to date 6. I said, it's exhausting, whatever. So she was like, I was done with dating. She was like, the ones that rush, they ain't it. They are the issue. Yeah. So she was like, no, you're going to get back out there and you're going to get back to dating. So I was like, okay. So I got back on the site and then I was trying to only do 3 or 4, but it ended up being 6 again. So I dated 6 and I told you real estate, he was wooing a girl. And I wanted on my own, I wanted to drop everybody because the way real estate was just love bombing me. And and he wanted to be exclusive quick. I should have known better, okay? I should have known better. So then once real estate went through his drama, I was like, I am done with dating. I am done with the apps. Now, what I did was I didn't take it off my phone. I just stopped it. And as soon as I was just like, you know what? I'm about to delete this. This was months later after real estate. I was like, I'm going to delete this. One man pops up on my thing and wants to talk to me. And like, he was dreaded and stuff. And I was like, oh God, he's attractive. And I was like, God, he kind of looked like me. A man version, like, and I decided to go out with him, and he was from, oh man, I love me a northern man, which I don't know, I'm originally from the north, but I've been in the south for so long, I have a southern accent. So, he was from Brooklyn, and I just love the northern swagger and stuff, and that man, we was together almost 2 years, and then since then, I have not been in a relationship, and he took me through it, oh my gosh. You know, it was so bad because, all right, I was already in therapy, but then, you know, he started, like, he'll complain about certain things, like, oh, you're not talking to me a certain way. I got in therapy hard. I was like, okay, he said I got this issue, work with me on this. Like, I was, like, actively, this was the first time that I saw myself, like, before I was, like, work on me for me, like, therapists help me with me. This is the first time I actually saw myself, like, working on myself for somebody else. Thank you. Love bombing and cut it at the roots. I'll ghost a man in a heartbeat. I don't want to ghost people because I don't want that. I don't want that energy. So this was the first time I was like in therapy, working on myself for a man. Like, I mean, I did do that back when I was married, but then when my husband and I finally was doing marital counseling, the psychiatrist diagnosed him as being a narcissist. Okay, so this first time I'm dating about somebody and like trying to work on myself for him, and then realizing that, nigga, I'm not the issue. You are actually the one with the fucking issue. You got me up in therapy constantly working on shit, and you are the one with the issue. Crazy to divorce you. I'm like, you are the one with the issue. Oh my God. He was crazy. Well, I divorced him, but he was crazy to mistreat me. Oh yeah, so I was like, you the one with the fucking issue. And I worked so hard on that relationship. He just with a man with daddy trauma. It was too much. It was too much. So since then, I've not been in a relationship. I've not been in a relationship. But what was so bad, because it took me forever. You know, you've been in a relationship and you trying to, like, you know you got to break up. And it's so bad, like, and I told myself I never do this. When somebody, well, first of all, I liked him more. I liked him. I like my ex. Like, he kind of got my quirky, and I really like that because most men don't get my quirky. A lot of men don't. And I could be childlike on him. But it was so hard because he was like, fine. It was like, you are no good for me, but you fine. Like, and you got good dick. It was so hard to break up with that nigga. I'm like, you are not healthy for me. But I just like looking at you, because I kind of felt like I was looking at myself in a sense, in a boy version. But I kind of feel like he was the more toxic me, the more like amped that shit up 20 times. Like, you like old me amped up. Like, and I was just like, I'm breaking up with me. But he was just so fine. And so I was just like, because you don't know what God's gonna send you. They may not be fine. And he was an older guy, not much older. He was only 1 year older than me, but he still had that younger swag, and I like that, whatever. Whereas real estate was mature. I was just like, why you gotta make me break up with you? So I had to break up with him. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna get next. So then 26 years old when I dated. I knew we weren't gonna be together for a long time. That boy, now my ex was grown man fine. And he had muscle, but he had a little more meat on. Now this one, body like a Greek motherfucking god. Okay, this boy body, I was just like, girl, you can't, you know this ain't. So when I saw that emotions was coming on both our sides, and I knew like it wasn't gonna go long term, I told him we had to call it quits. And that bothered me because he was more mature than these 40 years old, 30 years old Negroes. But, you know, just want to look at somebody's body. And I thought my ex was fine. But he still had a younger face. And I do like older looking men. This one had still a younger face. But body, I was just like. The bad thing is when you know you have to do something, but you really don't want to do something. And it wasn't even that he was a bad person. Oh, he was actually a good person. But if we kept sticking around, it was going to turn toxic. Because we got to leave each other alone. His body was so, oh my God. Lord have mercy. He stays in the gym and eating his protein. But that was my last situation. But I ain't been with nobody since. And that ended about 2 months ago. But yeah, I'm going to go to the gym, okay? It was so good. It's been a long time since I came on here and chatted with you guys, and I enjoyed myself. I got stories for days, but that's one reason why I don't, like I said, I initially started my channel to be a story time channel because I got crazy stories, but I wasn't getting a lot of viewership initially because it was a new channel. So then I started talking about Atlanta Street interviews, but still the Atlanta Street interviews people, whatever, they still kind of just really take towards those. So before I really like be telling all my stories and stuff, I'm trying to get my viewership up because I want it to get views. Like, why waste a good story? And the bad thing is I probably shouldn't have told y'all these stories because what I find is a lot of times when you start talking about people, they pop up. And I don't want none of them to pop up on me. Well, I told God I'm working on myself. 26 probably could pop back up on me because 26 might could pop back up on me. But other than everybody else, no. They don't need to be popping back up on me. Nope. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all, y'all.